I am on page 2 of the Chapter 6 test review for Algebra 2. So up at the top of the page, starting with number 18, we need to simplify. So we can't end with a radical in the denominator. That means I need to multiply by the conjugate, which is 4 plus the square root of 7, which means I need to multiply the numerator by 4 plus the square root of 7 as well. So I'm going to need to FOIL twice, in the numerator and in the denominator. So let's do the numerator first. And we're going to go FOIL. So 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times rad 7 is 9 rad 7. Inside is negative 9 rad 10 times 4, so negative 36 rad 10. And then last is negative 9 rad 70. Okay, now let's check out the denominator. Hopefully we'll be able to cancel something in the denominator. So first is 4 times 4, which is 16. Outside is 4 times rad 7, which is 4 rad 7. Inside is going to get us the opposite, which is negative 4 rad 7. And last is going to get us negative square roots of 49. I know that's 7. And simplify that. These are opposites. They will cancel. So I just have 16 minus 7. So in the denominator, I'm left with 9. In the numerator, can I simplify anything? Does not look like it. So I would just rewrite all of that right here. Okay. Except all of these are divisible by 9. I'm seeing that. So I can factor out a GCF of 9, and that's going to cancel with the denominator. So that leaves us with 4 plus the square root of 7 minus 4 rad 10 minus the square root of 70. All right. Jumping down to number 20. Solve each equation. Remember to check for extraneous solutions. So number 20, I have a square root, so the inverse operation is to square. So I'm going to square both sides. That gives me 44 minus 2x on the left, because these are inverse operations and they cancel. On the right, I have 6 squared, which is 36. I'm going to subtract 44 from both sides. That leaves me with negative 2x equals negative, 4 4 is 8. Divide by negative 2, so I get x equals 4. That one's not too bad. All right. Number 22, got to get rid of that square root, so I'm going to square both sides. So these cancel, and I have 6a minus 44 on the left, and on the right I need to FOIL. So I'm just going to rewrite this as a minus 6 times a minus 6. So first is a squared, outside is negative 6a, inside is another negative 6a, and last is a plus 36. So I want to set this equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract another 6a and add 44. That'll get me 0 on the left. And I'll have a squared minus a 6a minus a 6a minus another 6a, so negative 18a. And then 44 plus 36, what? 44 plus 36 is 80. Now I just need to factor that. So what two numbers multiply to get positive 80, add or subtract to get negative 18, that's going to be 10 and 8, right? And they're both negative. So these two answers are 8 and 10, and they both work. So we don't need to exclude one of them. All right? Number 24. Number 24, so we want to square both sides, which on the left is going to be easy. On the right, we're going to need to FOIL again. So these are inverse operations. We end up with 3b plus 1. Over here, I want to FOIL this. So I'm just going to rewrite out the 2 minus the square root of 9 minus b. And I'm going to need to FOIL. So first is 2 times 2, which is 4. Outside is going to be a negative 2 times 9 minus v. Inside is going to get me another negative 2 times the square root of 9 minus v. And then last is going to get me a positive square root of 9 minus v times the square root of 9 minus v, which is 9 minus v. We simplify it. All right, so let's get that square root part by itself. So everything else I want to move over to the left. So let's see, 3v plus 1. Combining like terms, I've got a 4 and a 9, so 13. And a minus v, so I've got 4 square roots of 9 minus v. So let's subtract the 13. Let's add the v. And that gets us to 4v minus 12 equal to negative 4 times the square root of 9 minus v. Whew, looks like we're going to need to square again. So we want to FOIL this and then just need to square that. So this is going to be 4v minus 12 times 4v minus 12. So this we just want to square. So that's going to be 16 times the 9 minus v, because when you square something that's being square rooted, it's just what's inside. So over here we want to FOIL. So 4v times 4v is 16v squared. Outside is negative 48v. Inside is another negative 48v. Last is 144. Over here we want to distribute, so 16 times 9 is a 144 minus 16v. Okay, so if we subtract 144 from both sides, that's good, those are gone. And we add 16v to both sides, so plus 16v. That's going to set us equal to 0. So we'll have 16v squared, and then what is negative 48 plus negative 48 plus 16? That is negative 80. So we want to factor out, what's the GCF? Just 80 divided by 16, go in there evenly? Yes, 5 times. So if I factor out a 16b, I've got b minus 5 equal to 0. So either 16b equals 0 or b minus 5 equals 0. And this one should be, when we divide by 16, we get 0. When we add 5 to both sides, we get 5. That one's too long. All right. Looking at number 26. So 26, we're just looking for like terms, and we're looking to distribute the negative here and here, and this negative here and here. So the first binomial I'm going to leave at 9 plus 6i. Second one I'm going to distribute to get plus 10 minus 9i. Distribute to get 10 and negative 15i. So let's write all the real numbers first. So 9, 10 is 19, plus another 10 is 29. 6i minus 9i minus 15i, all combined to get negative 18i. Number 28, we want to FOIL. So first is 8 times negative 4, which is negative 32. Outside is an 8i. Inside is a negative 16i. And last is a positive 4i squared. We know I squared means times negative 1. So 4 times negative 1 we know is negative 4. So we can combine this and this, our real parts, which is negative 36, and then combine our two imaginary parts to get negative 8i. Number 30, we want to FOIL again. So first is 1. Outside is 5i. Inside is negative 2i. And last is negative 10i squared. So we know I squared is negative 1. And negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. So when we combine our real numbers, we get 11. When we combine our imaginary numbers, we get plus 3i. All right, jumping down to number 32. We have 9i, so we want to multiply by the conjugate, which would be negative 9i, which means we also need to multiply the numerator by negative 9i, and we're going to need to distribute it in the numerator right there. So negative 9 times negative 9i is going to be 81i, and 8i times negative 9i is going to be negative 72i squared. I squared is negative 1. So we multiply that by negative 72, which is plus 72. In the denominator, we have 9i times negative 9i, which is negative 81i squared. I squared is negative 1 times negative 81, which is positive 81. I'm seeing that these have a GCF of 9. So I'm going to rewrite this numerator. I'm going to factor out a 9, and I'm going to write the real number first, which is 8 plus the 9i. The denominator, I know there's a 9 times 9 to get 81. So those guys are going to cancel. And the final answer should be 8 plus 9i over 9. You can rewrite it if you want to. All right, one more. Number 34. Can't have imaginary in the denominator, so we need to multiply by the conjugate, which is going to be negative 8 minus I. So we need to multiply the numerator by negative 8 minus I as well. We're going to need to FOIL twice. Helps if I put them in parentheses. Okay, so first, in the numerator, negative 9 times negative 8 is 72. Outside is positive 9i. Inside is positive 72i. And last is plus 9i squared. I squared, we know it's negative 1, so negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. In the denominator, first is 64. Outside is plus 8i. Inside is minus 8i. Last is minus I squared. So these are opposites and then I cancel. I squared is negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 is plus 1. So 64 plus 1, that denominator is going to be 65. And in the numerator, I've got a 72 minus 9, which is what, 63. And then 9i plus 72i is going to be 81i. Look for a GCF. There's not one on this one, but there very likely could be.